Good morning, dear students of class 3. Today we are going to study a new lesson, and everyone turn to page 31 from your English Gulmohar reader. Okay. Alright, so what is the name of our lesson? The name of our lesson is Tall Trees. Okay, so this lesson is a poem. So what is the name of our lesson once again? Tall Trees, isn't it? And who is the poet? Tall Trees by Eileen Mathias. Okay, everyone repeat it after me. Eileen Mathias. Tall Trees by Eileen Mathias. So first of all, I am going to read it, and I want all of you to point it with your fingers and read it along with me. Okay. With their feet in the earth and their heads in the sky, the tall trees watch the clouds go by. When the dusk sends quickly the birds to rest, the tall trees shelter them safe in a nest. And then in the night, with the tall trees peeping, the moon shines down on a world that's sleeping. Okay, so in this lesson, we are going to study about the trees, what they look like, and what they do. Okay, so the first stanza of the poem. Whenever you read a poem, it is divided into many stanzas. Okay, so supposing in a story, we call it paragraphs, but in a poem we call them stanzas. Okay, first stanza, second stanza, and third stanza. All right, so the first stanza of the poem, what does it teach us? Let's read it once more. With their feet in the earth and their heads in the sky, the tall trees watch the clouds go by. All right, so can you see this picture? This is a picture of a tree, isn't it? And in the last class, I had told you to draw a picture of a tree. Am I right? Yes. So these are some tall trees in the picture. And you can see this brown color, isn't it? Now, what is this brown color called? What is it called? This part of the tree, the brown part of the tree, this is called the trunk of the tree. Okay, this part is called the trunk of the tree. All right. Okay, and as you go up, isn't it? Now, can you see these branches? These are the branches. They are like the hands of the tree. First of all, the trunk of the tree is like the feet of the tree. Okay, and as you go up, these are the branches. They are like the hands of the tree. And these, what are the green color? Can you see the green color? Yes. So the green color, what are they called? They are the leaves, isn't it? They are the leaves and branches. Okay, so we have the trunk of the tree, the branches and the leaves, isn't it? Okay, so with their feet in the earth means the trunk of the tree is planted on the ground, isn't it? It is planted on the ground. So it means the feet of their feet in the earth means the trunk of the tree is planted on the ground. Okay, and their heads in the sky. Their heads in the sky means the leaves. Okay, the topmost leaves. All right, so these are very tall trees, and the topmost leaves, they are called the heads of the tree. Okay, so these are the heads of the tree. The tall trees watch the clouds go by. So what do the tall trees do? Do they just stand like that? No, they do not. What do? They watch the clouds go by. All right. Okay. For example, human beings, we are alive, isn't it? Yes. And what do we do as soon as we wake up in the morning? We brush our teeth, isn't it? We wash our faces. And after that, we have our breakfast and then we get dressed and we go to school or we go to work, isn't it? So just like that, similarly, even the tall trees, they are living things, okay? So what do they do? In this poem, it tells us that the tall trees, they are living things, and their feet, which is the trunk, it is planted on the ground, and their heads, which are the leaves, it is up in the sky, and they watch the clouds go by. Okay, they watch the clouds when they are standing. Okay. Now the second stanza. When the dusk sends quickly the birds to rest, the tall trees shelter them safe in a nest. Okay, now what do you mean by dusk? Let's see. Dusk, the time after sunset, before it is completely dark. Okay, so you must have noticed, in your day-to-day lives, you must have noticed that dusk means if you look outside, the sun has already set. Okay, and it is not yet dark outside. You can still see some of the things which are outside. Okay, so that means it is dusk. All right, so what happens when it is dusk? For human beings, we return back home from work, isn't it? Yes, and we return back home from work, and some of us, we are in a hurry to return back, isn't it? Yes. So in this poem, it tells us that when the dusk sends quickly the birds to rest. Okay, why does it say sends quickly the birds to rest? Because as it is becoming darker, the birds, they quickly return back. Okay, the birds are flying back to their nest. Okay, because in the forest, when it is nighttime, it becomes very dangerous, isn't it? There are lots of wild animals. So the birds, they need to find a safe place to rest, isn't it? At nighttime. Yes. So when it is becoming dark, then the birds are quickly rushing back. They are in a hurry to go back home, isn't it? Yes. And where is their home? Can you tell me? Where do the birds live? When the dusk sends quickly the birds to rest, the tall trees shelter them safe in a nest. Okay, so as it is becoming darker, the trees give the birds a place to rest, isn't it? Yes. And where do these birds live? Maybe they live in between the branches of the trees. Maybe they build a nest in between the leaves or the branches, isn't it? Yes. So the tall trees give shelter. They give shelter to the birds so that they will be able to rest safely at night. Okay. The third stanza. And then in the night, with the tall trees peeping, the moon shines down on a world that's sleeping. All right. So as nighttime comes, what do the tall trees do? With the tall trees peeping. What do you mean by peeping? Peeping means looking. All right. So looking at someone or looking at something. Okay. So when it is nighttime, the tall trees are looking. All right. The moon shines down on a world that's sleeping. The moon is very bright in the sky. All right. And at nighttime, what do we do as human beings? we sleep at night, isn't it? The world is asleep at night. All of us, we sleep and rest at night. Okay. So when it is nighttime, the tall trees are watching over us. Peeping means the tall trees are watching over us. They are protecting us. Okay. And the moon shines down on a world that's sleeping. It means the moon is very bright in the sky and everyone is asleep at night. And the tall trees, they stand tall. They are tall and they do not sleep. Instead, they watch us sleeping while we are sleeping. Okay, so that's it. And if you see here, the poem is about tall trees, what they look like and what they do. So this poem is about the tall trees, isn't it? Now we have learned what they look like and what they do, isn't it? Yes. So can you tell me again? What do the tall trees, what do they look like? Yes, they have feet, which is the trunk, isn't it? It is planted on the ground. And they have leaves and branches. The leaves are the heads of the tree, isn't it? And they watch the clouds. During the daytime, they watch the clouds, isn't it? And when it is dusk, the birds are quickly returning back to their homes, to their nests, isn't it? And the tall trees give shelter to the birds so that the birds live, so that they rest safely at nighttime inside their nests, isn't it? Yes. And when it is nighttime, the moon is shining. The moon is shining brightly in the sky. And the tall trees are watching us. They are protecting the world. They are protecting us. They are watching us while we are asleep. Okay. All right. So that's it with the lesson. And if you see this, exercise A, complete these sentences with the correct answers. So you have to do this exercise A. I have already explained and you have to choose the correct answers. Okay. So there are 1, 2, and 3. There are 3 questions in exercise A and I want you to do that by yourself. Okay. And exercise B, answer these questions in your own words. So I will help you with exercise B, okay? But I want you to do exercise A by yourself, all right? Okay, so that's it with our lesson, Tall Trees by Eileen, Mathias. And I hope all of you have enjoyed. So that's it. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.